Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into Genesis 9, verses 1 through 5. Really pivotal stuff happening right after the flood. It's almost like, hitting a divine reset button for humanity.
Yeah, absolutely. A reset button.
These verses, they lay out these brand new instructions, things about blessing, responsibility, and the value of life itself. We really want to unpack the impact these few lines have had.
And what's so striking right from the start is how these ancient words, they just echo, they feel foundational for so much of our ethics today. Challenges how we see the natural world, how we treat each other. It's all sort of seated right here.
Exactly. And that's what gets really interesting for me, how much things change from, before the flood, from earlier in Genesis. We're going to see this big shift in how humans relate to animals, to food even. But also, yeah, there's a whole new level of accountability. It's quite a lot packed in here.
It really is. Ready to dive in.
Let's do it. Okay, Genesis 9, verse 1 starts off. Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth." Now, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Almost like we've heard it before.
Oh, absolutely. It's a direct echo, almost word for word in places, of Genesis 1.28, the original mandate. And that's not just, a casual repetition. It's profound. It signals that despite everything, despite the flood, God's original purpose for humanity, it's back on track.
Okay.
The key thing here, I think, is that humanity gets this fresh start. Second chance, really. Renewed purpose,
Right.
Flourish, multiply, fill the earth. It's powerfully hopeful, shows continuity.
Right. A message of hope after, utter devastation. So, first start, renewed purpose. But then verse 2 hits and the tone shifts. Quite dramatically, I'd say. It says, "The fear and dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth and on all the birds in the sky, on every creature that moves along the ground, and on all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands."
Wow. That's a long way from the harmony we picture in Eden, isn't it? It really is. A complete departure. This new dynamic, it's defined by fear. Fear of humans by animals. It fundamentally changes that relationship. And the insight here, I think, is pretty sobering. It's that the consequences of human sin, they don't just affect humans, they ripple outwards. They impact creation itself.
Right.
That pre-flood harmony,
Right.
it's gone. It's like, imagine a trust being broken. Now there's this distance, this barrier, where there used to be perhaps communion.
A broken trust.
Yeah.
That's a powerful way to put it. So the world is different. The relationship is different. And then comes verse 3, which brings perhaps the most practical, everyday change for people. "Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything." I mean, that is a massive dietary shift.
Oh, it's monumental.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because remember, back in Genesis 1, verse 29, the instruction was plants only, explicitly vegetarian.
Yeah.
Now, boom, permission to eat meat, first time.
So why the change, do you think?
Well, the core idea seems to be that human dominion, it now extends to using animals for sustenance. It reflects this changed world post-flood. Maybe a harsher reality, maybe just a pragmatic allowance for survival.
Makes sense.
But, and this is crucial, this new freedom, it isn't absolute. It comes with a really important condition right in the next verse.
Okay, yeah, let's get to that. Verse 4, it says, "But you must not eat meat that has its lifeblood still in it."
This feels like it's about more than just, how you cook your steak.
Oh, profoundly more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because biblically, blood is consistently linked with life itself. You see it later, like Leviticus 17:11. The life of a creature is in the blood.
Right, the life force, almost.
Exactly. So God says, okay, you can eat meat, but he immediately draws this line, a sacred boundary. The insight, I think, is that life itself is sacred. Its essence, symbolized by blood, has to be treated with reverence, respected.
Even when you're consuming it for food.
Even then, it's like a constant reminder. Life comes from God. It has value, even in the basic act of eating.
Reverence for life. Okay. And then verse 5 really takes that idea of life's value and accountability and ramps it up significantly. It says, "And for your lifeblood, I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal. And from each human being, too, I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being."
That sounds foundational, like the bedrock for justice.
It is precisely that, yeah. This verse lays down a fundamental principle. God demands justice for the taking of human life, period. The value of human life is immense, non-negotiable.
And it applies to everyone, even animals.
That's what it says. God holds both animals and humans accountable if they take a human life. It really sets the stage for ideas like capital punishment later on, establishing this system of profound moral order.
Okay.
The key takeaway is just how uniquely precious and divinely protected human life is.
It's fascinating, too, how these specific commands, these ancient rules, they don't just stay in Genesis. Like you mentioned Leviticus, but I'm thinking of the New Testament, like in Acts 15. The early church leaders are figuring out rules for Gentile believers. And what comes up? Don't eat blood. They actually reference this.
That's a critical connection. Yeah. It shows these aren't just like historical footnotes.
Right.
Broadening out from that Acts example, it shows Genesis 9 establishes these enduring principles. Stewardship, accountability. We're given dominion, yes, but it's not unchecked power. It's responsibility. God holds us accountable for how we use his gifts, creation, food, and maybe most importantly, our relationships with each other. It's a framework that lasts.
So not just history, but a living principle.
Okay.
So if it's a living principle, how should these ancient commands, how might they challenge us, today in how we think about animals or the environment or just how we treat other people?
Well, I think ultimately the passage calls us to view all of life, all of it, as both this incredible gift and also a profound responsibility. It pushes us beyond just surviving or consuming. It pushes us towards reverence, intentional care. In our everyday choices, really. It's an ethical framework that still speaks, I think.
Yeah, it definitely does. We've covered some really deep territory today, from humanity getting that fresh start, that reset, to this whole new kind of complex relationship with creation, and then grounding it all in the sacredness of life. It's powerful stuff.
And if you step back and look at the bigger picture, these verses put in place this really strong framework: stewardship, accountability. These ideas just transcend time, don't they? They really force us to think about our place, our role in the world.
So thinking about that role, what does this deep dive mean for you, listening right now? We saw how these commands from way back in Genesis echo forward, even influencing the early church in Acts. So here's something maybe to chew on this week. If you really take seriously this idea of life's sacredness and our role as stewards, how might that change things day to day? From maybe the food choices you make to the way you interact in your relationships, how can you maybe cultivate a bit more of that reverence, that care, seeing life, all of it as this extraordinary gift, but also, this profound responsibility, something to think about?